you can do it. This is section 11 of our overview series of 13 parts on effective church communications. This one is about websites. Again, as with all the others, there are additional materials on this website having to deal with websites, but this will give you a real good overview about a very exciting program. Now, setting up a website is so important because this is where we start today on many things. We see advertising, we get the website, whether it's a billboard, TV ad, whatever. And what do? We immediately go to the website for the detailed information. This same model is very important, and it's a great model for a ministry. You give someone an invitation card to an event, you have your church website, they can go to it to find out more about your church. Now, keep in mind the primary importance of church websites is information. People do not go to church websites for their multimedia thrill of the week. They don't go there for entertainment. They go there for information. So you want a website that will enable you to give people lots of information. Now, a lot of people are afraid with websites that they're going to cost a lot and they're really hard to do. Those two things are not true. You can create a website that's almost free, that's hosted for free, that looks great and is super easy to maintain. This is possible through WordPress. It's blogging software, that's how a lot of people know it, but you can also use it to create an entire website. I did that with mine. I'll show it to you in just a minute. You can also use it for short-term sites, blogs. You can link them to your main website. It is wonderful. Now, it's not perfect. You run into little glitches, or maybe you can't do all the things you want, but it's really relatively easy. It's tremendous fun, and it's incredibly empowering when you can create your own website. Now, this is my website. I did it all myself. It's got lots of topics. You can go on at effectivechurchcom.com, hundreds of articles and information and pages on different things and links to my online store. And I mean, just all this kind of stuff. And it didn't cost me anything to create it. The reason that it's free is WordPress.com is part of a larger company called Automatic, and they actually they're the creators of the WordPress.org. This is actually the hosting and all this kind of company. I don't even understand how it works for some really huge organizations, like I believe CNN's one of them, and some of these really huge things. This is sort of their give back. The whole philosophy of the internet is you give back, and this is one of their give backs. They do some advertising, but they hope you'll be loyal if you grow. They do charge, the reason I say almost free, if you have the site go directly to your domain name, like mine goes directly to effectivechurchcom.com instead of doing WordPress.effectivechurchcom.com. That costs a mere $15 a year. For extra storage, if you do video, which I've started doing on my site, that was $20 a year. So even though I say that there's some additional costs, they're very, very minor, very affordable, but it's a marvelous, wonderful company. Now, before you actually jump into it, I cannot recommend enough that you learn how to use the program through lynda.com. Now, it's really a super easy program to do once you learn some of the basic little things. For example, before I took this little training on lynda.com, and I'm showing you exactly the process I went through, I did not know what a dashboard was. I did not know what a widget is. I did not know the difference between a post and a page. And, it's just a lot of the terminology. I just didn't understand any of that. For $25, you can go on lynda.com. If you listen to any of my stuff, I absolutely love this site. I think it's the greatest thing in the world. And you can get WordPress 2.7. This is their most updated version. You want to get that and it's 5.525 hours, $25. You can also take all kinds of other courses. It's $25 a month. Now you want the WordPress.com, not WordPress.org. Now this is a whole separate thing. This really jumps you into the big leagues. And if you get around to it and you want that kind of thing, I'm actually thinking about maybe doing something with it. But WordPress.com is what you want. That'll get you started. And this is the basic training for it. Now, some features of WordPress, and I will, after going just through this list, I will then show you each one of them. It's template-based designed. It's cloud-based, or what they call a content management system. It has a content-centric blog foundation, which is really, really important, and I'll go into why each of these are very important. You can do both pages and posts. There is a huge amount of free storage for images and articles and all that sort of thing. If you want more, it's very low cost. It is multimedia capable. You can put anything up on there, streaming audio, video, images, PDFs, whatever. You can, if you want to, edit the HTML and the cascading style sheets. You don't have to. You can do a great site. I've never touched this CSS stuff, and I know how to do about 2 things in HTML. I'll show you that. But so you don't need to do any of that. You can if you want to. You don't need to. Great statistics and fantastic support and online help. Once you sort of learn the basic way around there, you just from any page, you just flip right to their support, and there's a huge amount of help. If you can't find it, you can email them. They answer you within 24 hours. Wonderful, wonderful. And this is free. Can you believe it? I mean, it's just fantastic. Okay, what does it mean that it is a content management or cloud-based system? Okay, this is different than what you may already have in your church, where your website is created by one person in the church office. All the content goes through that person, and then they upload it onto the website. In contrast, the cloud is what they refer to as just the internet in general, where your website is hosted on a server somewhere, but instead of everything just funneling through one person, one computer, everybody who has the proper access codes can log onto it, can contribute, comment, etc. For example, and this is what all sorts of places are going to, and a lot of places want to charge you a whole pile of money, and they make you think it's something new and cool and all this. It isn't. It's been around for forever. WordPress is free, and they do it, so don't let somebody tell you that, oh, they'll set up this content management system for you. That's just what things like WordPress have always been. And what this is that way the children's minister, the associate, the whoever it is, they can log in from at home and they can work on the website. They don't have to come into the church office. They don't have to buy expensive software such as Dreamweaver or whatever. Everybody that you give permission to and that knows how to do it, they can log in, they can be responsible for updating their own site. You can lock sections, articles, whatever. You can have approval levels. All that's possible through WordPress. So this isn't some fancy thing that you have to pay a lot of money for. It's possible through WordPress. The basic instructions will walk you through how to set up all that. Now, there are lots and lots of templates, dozens of them, and you can modify different ones in different ways. You can change colors. You can do all kinds of things like that. Now, this is a limitation on the free WordPress. There are literally unlimited WordPress templates out there on the web, but with that, you have to switch over into the WordPress.org side of it, which actually isn't that much more expensive, but it's a little bit more complex. But just for the basic ones, there are dozens and dozens of templates available, beautifully done up. You don't have to do any work to use these, and they're very easy to modify. Then, one of the greatest things is this is so cool. This is so easy. This is for someone like me, and you may have been in my situation. In the past, I paid a huge amount of money, more than once, to have a quote-unquote custom header created for WordPress. And I have actually a little video that I'm going to be redoing so you can actually see how this is done. This is just kind of an overview thing. So you can actually watch me do it because it's just a kick. But here you have a template. And it's one that allows you to do a custom header. So you click on that section, and then you upload a picture. And see this light area? You can slide that up and down your photograph. It can be anything you want. A picture of your people. This is just some free clip art off the Microsoft site. You just slide it up and down. This is the area that's going to be as big as your nameplate. Then you click on Save That, and boom, you have a customized header. I mean, that's all there is to that. Easiest thing in the world. It's just a kick. Here are a couple that I did up. Both of these are available on WordPress. I was so excited after I learned how to use this that I did these up right away just to show people how you can create some very cool looking websites for no money at all. So, go to these, check them out, just a couple of samples, and it just shows you the kind of thing you can do. Okay, the difference between a page and a post. Pages are like my little things up here. Now, the posts, though, this is the basic unit of a blog, and they're typically viewed in reverse chronological order. Now, this is what is so cool about them, though, is you write up your post and you put it in a category. After you write it up, and you put it in a category, and then WordPress does all the organizing. It links all the ones together that are the same category. When somebody clicks on it, all of those come up. I mean, all of this organization that you have to do sometimes through other websites and stuff like that, WordPress does it all for you. Pages, that's the content that stays the same. For example, I explain what my biblical base is, what my resources are, how to use the site, about me, about Yvon Prehn. You could have that like about your church, whatever. Now, not all the WordPress templates have pages. You have to make sure that it's one that you can actually do pages. But this is what enables you to take it from being just blogging software to a full-blown website. Now, here on the reason that it's so important to use blogging software is when I did a while back, and I have articles on this website that go into detail on this. I did a Google search quite a while ago that where I searched various things about the church, about salvation, about community, a number of these different topics. And with the exception of the word salvation, not almost, no churches came up within the first 5 pages of the Google search. And I realized that we have so much content in our churches, but we don't put it on our websites. You actually need the words that are up there. You might have the greatest community in your church, but if you don't have articles that actually talk about community, if you don't have articles up on your website that talk about it, the search engines can't find you. And what I have found is if you put up that content, they will. Companies, again, they try to scam you and charge you all this money for search engine optimization. You don't need to do that. You just need to get the content up there. I'm very little potatoes. I have a small ministry. I don't have a lot of money. It's me and Jesus doing the website, and he doesn't post a whole lot, so it's just me. But because on my website, I just talk about church communications, I put the stuff up there, I always come up on the first page of searches for church communications. That's just because I have a lot of content up there. And it can be like that for your churches. You don't have to do fancy things. Just get it up there, put it in categories, and the search engines will find you. If your pastor, for example, does not like to write his or her own articles, get a web buddy. Somebody on the staff that'll take sermons, that'll take devotions, that'll take texts that they wrote and put that up on the web. You will be amazed then that the topics that really relate to your church, the search engines will find you. Now, this is just some screenshots of how you actually do it. You just click on the page, and again, the Linda stuff will go into much more detail, but I just want to give you an overview of how easy this is. You just click on the thing where it says add a new post, and this little box comes up, and it's just like word processing. You just put your text in there, and then after you write your article, see, you can click on these little content categories, and you can also do tags, but the content categories are really cool because WordPress then organizes them under all those categories. So say you had Bible study and devotions or whatever. Some articles are on Bible studies. all of them that are on Bible studies, you click the little Bible study category. Say it was down here, and then somebody goes to your website. They want to know about Bible studies. They click on the category Bible studies, and all the articles will pop right up, and you don't have to do one single thing to make those links. WordPress does it all just because you checked it in that category. In addition to the written content, you can put in a huge amount of material, uploading PDFs and illustrations and all this. And you go to my website and you'll see this. You get for free 3 gigabytes of storage. That's 3,000 megabytes. Now, to give you some kind of a sense of how this works out, both of these things, here's a white paper that I did on church communications. Here's a free PDF I did on how to get people to come back to church. Not to come back to church, but to come to church for Easter. Each of these, my Easter invitation, for example, is 97 kilobytes. So what that means is I could store 30,000 of the images like this without any additional cost to me. So that gives you a little bit of sense of how much storage you have. Then as far as multimedia goes, you can link to YouTube or Tangle, and it doesn't cost you a penny. You can link the sites into them, especially YouTube. It's really easy to link to YouTube. Now, I've been able to figure out how to just do a link to Tangle. I haven't been able to figure out how to... Tangle is the former GodTube, by the way. I haven't been able to figure out exactly how to put that right up in there. But you can also put in your own videos, just storing them on the WordPress site. In both YouTube and Tango, you can't really advertise anything without paying extra and all this kind of stuff, but you can store your own videos on the WordPress site. This is one of them. You can see that it was with WordPress. For an additional $20 a year, you get 5 gigabytes, or that's 5,000 megabytes. Now, the program that I use to create videos, it runs about 2 megabytes per minute. So basically, I would have 2,500 minutes of video. That's a lot of video. If you need additional storage, you can purchase it, but very, very inexpensive. Again, a lot of places charge you per month for quote-unquote streaming video. You don't need to be paying that. You can do your own and just load it up on something like WordPress, and $20 a year for 2,500 minutes, doesn't get you cheaper than that. If you want to take the time to learn HTML and to modify your own cascading style sheets, you can do that. And what you do is, most of us would just edit our stuff in a little text box like this. This is what's called the visual editor. You can click over into the HTML, and then you can see the code, and you can tweak that if you want to. 9 times out of 10, you don't need to do a thing. Now, I don't know why I have a hang up on this, but so many of the programs don't break the paragraphs where I want them to. So I learned the paragraph break code. This is a wonderful book. It's just a really great teach yourself HTML and CSS in 24 hours. I haven't even finished the whole thing, but I just learned what I needed to learn, and one of the things I wanted to learn is how to do a paragraph break. I'm no computer programmer, but I can go into the HTML thing. If I want another paragraph break, I type in this little thing, and that does it. So don't get freaked out on any of that. You can tweak it, you can do that, but 9 times out of 10, you don't need to. People can comment on stuff. Now, this is really kind of fun, and it's great. People can just comment right on your website. They can submit a comment, and then it's really neat. WordPress has it where it will come right to your email. So somebody's commented on it. You can answer them. You can also block comments if you want to. It's just a really neat thing where you can kind of get a dialogue going, and please feel free, come to the website. Come on there, ask me some questions or make some comments, or people have told me some resources that I, then pass them on to people. It's just great. The statistics are really handy. You need to see if people are coming to your site, and you can actually track and see when people come. the day that I released this article on You Can Do It, that's why I did this whole series on it, is boy, that really resonated with people. I sent out an email newsletter telling people, you can do things yourself. You don't need to pay for it. That day I got the most hits on my site that I've ever gotten. It was great. And then it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Interesting, just last Friday, I have had, yeah, it was Friday. I've had an article free for people, not an article, a whole book downloadable free for people for Church Administrative Assistance Week, and I had over 1,000 hits on that on just one of the days last week. And so it was interesting. That seemed to really help people. But you can see what are people's top searches. You can see where they came from. You can see what articles they look at the most. Really helpful to see if your website's really meeting people's needs. And don't forget to tell people about it. On all of your different church communications, be sure your website's there, either front or back side. If you do, say, a specific blog just for, here I did up a little thing on Jesus is the reason for the Christmas season. You can put up WordPress blogs. You can take them down. You can have specialized things for different seasons. I mean, again, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Put it up, take it down, have it for a specialized thing, whatever. Let people know in your bulletin and emails, create invitation cards and postcards. And it's just a wonderful way, again, on something like this, to let people know why Jesus is the reason for the season, and how we celebrate the holidays because of him. And so with WordPress, it gives you a free, inexpensive, and wonderful way to jump into the web and get the information out there to people that really need it. With websites, I do want to emphasize their extraordinary potential. They literally make Acts 1:8 true, where Jesus said, "You will be my witness in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and to the uttermost parts of the earth." With your website, you can do that. You can be his witness to the entire world. It is an exciting time to be in ministry. And with programs like WordPress, it makes all the hard work worth it. Well, that was section 11. Now we're on to section 12, and we're almost done with our series on You Can Do It.